In the Marine Corps, we define discipline as instant willingness, obedience to all orders without question. Mm-hmm. As a recruit and as a Marine Corps drill instructor, I was challenged, and I challenged recruits to push beyond limits, to remove self-doubt, and to find strength in their weakest of moments. But I couldn't help but to wonder, why was not challenging authority and just following orders so easy? Then it hit me. I grew up with a couple of phrases that resonated with me. Phrases that shaped my childhood, and maybe some of yours too. Children should be seen and not heard. And my all-time favorite, because I said so. Because I said so. Those words, they had power. The fear, the anxiety, the absolute panic, just get it done. You see, no one cared about the why. Their only expectation was instant obedience. Because I said so meant following orders without question. Being seen and not heard meant compliance. And that compliance ingrained silence and hesitation instead of forward movement. When was the last time that you felt silenced or you hesitated? All while allowing someone else or someone else's voice to take control of that situation. Because I said so. Meant going along to get along, not rocking the boat. Or that little voice that used to say, it is none of my business. Some of you may be familiar with that little voice. Some of you may be remembering and reverting mentally back to that space of not challenging authority. And it may even be resurfacing in professional settings, social circles, community interactions. When was the last time you felt that way? On a job, amongst friends, or even while networking? Well, let me tell you, you are not alone. And there's actually a term for that very feeling. It is called the diffusion of responsibility. That is when everyone thinks that someone else is going to step up and say something, therefore no one does anything. You see, in the diffusion of responsibility, that is when a bystander, who is either a person or a group of individuals, make a decision to whether or not they're going to step up in the face of injustice and do something because of the amount of people who are present. But did you know that the larger the group size is, then the less likely it is that individuals are going to intervene? You see, because I said so, it's the twin to the diffusion of responsibility, teaching us to hesitate, to defer, and to just follow orders instead of taking the initiative. Okay, so here's my story. My transparent moment. So a colleague and I were tasked with a project. Now, depending upon who you ask, it was either urgent or important, right? But needless to say, we knew it was one of those projects that had to get done. The problem is, neither one of us wanted to take charge. Neither one of us wanted to step up. The result, you guessed it, a last-minute report. We barely met the deadline, and we fell short of expectations. Well, let me tell you, we didn't fall short of expectations because of the difficulty of the task. We fell short because neither one of us wanted to step up. Has there ever been a time that you haven't stepped up? That you've hesitated? Waiting on someone else to step up? Just going along to get along? You see, because I said so, and the diffusion of responsibility carry a weight in a space that is there in our minds. And when we defer and when we hesitate, instead of stepping up, we miss an opportunity to make true impact. Did you know that if someone were to step up in the first 10 seconds of an injustice, there is a 57% chance they can stop it from escalating? I don't know about you, but the fear and the reluctance are real. You saw what happened to that coworker, and you didn't want to get involved because you worried about what was going to happen. You feared stepping up because no one told you to, or just fear of reprisal for stepping up. You see, one thing I learned in the Marine Corps is that stepping up really makes a difference. Not challenging authority, going along to get along, makes us bystanders in our own lives. But I believe that if we make a decision to step up instead of standing idly by, that is when we make impact. That is the crucial, immediate moment. So let me ask you, bystanders, it is time. It is time to take a pause on purpose, to release fear and hesitation, to no longer stand idly by waiting on someone else to step up, waiting on someone else to intervene. Because I said so. And the diffusion of responsibility are now the foundation for action. Imagine the possibilities if we released fear and hesitation and we turned bystanders into upstanders. Audience, attention! May I offer you your final marching orders. No more standing idly by, waiting for someone else to step up. Release that fear and hesitation And the next time your friends or your coworkers say, wow, you've changed. You don't stand by anymore. You don't wait for someone else to act. You've learned to turn your silence into strength and inaction into action. I want you to do me one favor. I want you to stand tall. I want you to stand proud. I want you to look them dead in the eye. And I want you to say, you are absolutely right. Because I said so. Thank you.